Hey everybody, this is Aaron, and this right here is Pej. He kind of just climbed into my lap and decided he's kind of gonna be a resident for a while. And he did it like right before I started trying to set up for this video, and are you and yeah, so now he's walking all over me now, and you get to see his butt because that's just the way he rolls, I guess. So, so let me get comfortable now. And watch his progress. Forever stalking the kitty. Forever stalking the kitty. Ah! Okay. And back. So this is me. It's the 14th of February. So that could be Singles Awareness Day, or it could be Valentine's Day, or it could be Tuesday. So that's what it is for me, is Tuesday. I do have a plan to see a movie later with a friend of mine online, because I don't go very far away from my laptop ever. Let's see. Just wanted to post something up here. It's been pretty crazy around these parts here. I found a couple of pretty cool websites for big and tall online men's clothing, and that's not where I got this shirt. I got this shirt for Christmas, but I wanted to put that out there. Just I'm always looking for big and tall clothing, but Walmart or places like that, they cost like $4 or $5 or dollars more for upper sizes, when the pants or the shirt or whatever, they cost like $20-$25 as it is. So it's nice going online. And going online, you gotta pay for the shipping and handling. But at least with online shopping, it's probably not going to cost as much. In the one store I went to, I found a couple of cargo shorts for like $18-$19, and so plus the shipping and handling, I think it would still be. And if you buy like a bunch of stuff at the same time, they'll probably ship for free or greatly reduced price or something like that. Usually it's like, my bad. Usually they have deals like $50 or more. You get free shipping or something. So that's easily 3 things. So I might just do it that way, and get some new clothes. So that's what I'm up to. And I'll put the link if I remember. I never seem to remember these things. Sorry, there's still Pej hair everywhere. I never seem to remember to put the links up for anything. So, and I keep saying I will, and I never do, because I'm lazy like that. So, anyway, nothing else really big going on. I haven't had any, large gender issues going on. I've been pretty, laid back, low key. What did happen though is that yesterday I auditioned for a play, and I forgot the name of the play now. It's something weird because the whole play is kind of weird. But the show I'm auditioning for, or I auditioned for, and I'm holding in this. Okay, so before I go much further on this, I'm holding it up like this because I'm not sure what the microphone is, because I'm kind of a dunderhead like that. I would assume it's where the camera was, but I don't know. When I started this video last time, there was no sound when I played it back, so I don't know what's going on with that, or what was going on with that. So I'm trying. I think that is because I had it laying on something that kind of got rid of a lot of sound as it was. So I was like, if I'm holding it up, maybe it'll capture that sound. I don't know. It made sense at the time. So anyway, auditioning, yes, and so I originally read for, and the whole play I have no clue what it's about, so don't ask me. They just gave us snippets of the script, so for a monologue, and they gave us like 20 minutes or something to kind of learn our way around it. And what we have now is and I had to leave for class like almost right away anyway, so I got this part for the police chief, or fire chief or whatever, and he rambles in this monologue. He's like, I'm not sure if it's like a story he's trying to tell, or if it's just, some weird joke or something that he's trying to tell. But he goes on and on and on and on and on about, okay, well, my brother's friend who married this one chick who was the granddaughter of such and such, who lived over on this area across the way from so-and-so, who was this cousin of such and such, and just on like that. I mean, literally for 20, 25 lines of just that. And a lot of it is tongue twisting. Some of it even repeats itself a little bit, like who was the granddaughter of this, who was the granddaughter of that, who was the grandfather of this, and who like borrowed. And a lot of it didn't even make any sense. Like who wore spectacles, who that was borrowed from his cousin. That didn't mean anything. Who was the owner of a vineyard that made mediocre wine. It was just weird. So there was no way I was going to be able to memorize that, let alone in 20 minutes. And I don't think anybody expected anybody to memorize it. So there was that part, and then the two girls who were kind of in charge of it asked me to come back in and read for the part of the stage directions, because the way the stage directions are written are kind of humorous, so they thought maybe they would turn the stage directions into kind of a narrator type character who either just kind of pops in and out of the scenes and sets it up and takes it down, kinds of a thing. And I'm actually kind of hoping to get that part, if not the fire chief. So I've auditioned for both male roles, and that's not really unheard of. I mean, there were mostly girls who auditioned, and there are possibly three male roles. So if I did get the part of that, stage direction, which I'm assuming is kind of a smaller part, or one of the smallest parts of the play, probably one of the easier parts, probably too, then that would mean that the rest of the one of the females is probably going to do one of the male parts, which would be kind of interesting to watch and see how that plays out. Pun intended. Well, not at the time, but haha, awesome. Anyway, the reason why I put that in there is because one of the main things that I always had some problems with when it came to like gender issues and dysphoria or anything like that, which I don't really go into very often, but I do have my gender issues, but I just kind of write them in my journal. But most of them really kind of revolve around the things that I probably cannot do, and acting seems to be one of those things where it's like, not that I'm like this, big thespian as it is. It's just I liked drama when I was in high school, and I always wanted to do it again. But I was always afraid of being cast in like weird ass roles, or not being cast at all because of my gender thing. I auditioned for something last year at the end of the school year, and one of the questions was if I was willing to alter my hair or something like that. And I said, yeah, the top, but my facial hair, now that I've come to really grow and love it, we'd have to kind of discuss that, because cutting my facial hair is like, now it almost feels like cutting a limb, and I'm not sure if I'm the only one who feels that way. So it's like when I do shave my face for like special functions or something, that's that's really a mourning period for me, I think, for a couple of days until I kind of start feeling stubble or something. Back to the audition. I auditioned for those parts, and they're male parts, and I guess in theater you can do whatever you want. I mean, the part of Ariel in The Tempest from William Shakespeare is supposed to be a gender-neutral character, because it's a spirit. Spirits don't need genders. And so, a guy or a girl could play Ariel, and that's just, it works. So anyway, I'm going off base here. I always just kind of had issues with that. I always thought that, I would have issues with, doing things like acting, or, getting into theater again, because I did want to do that. I had a lot of fun doing that, learning to sing or whatever, learning to dance, what, side would they put me on, because people see my name and they assume female, like, like I was born. but they look at me and they see this guy, Aaron, and it's like, okay, so if they hear Aaron, if they automatically assume guy. If they hear and they see Aaron, they assume guy. Apparently, when I have my customer service voice, which is annoying, which annoys me, is my voice goes a little bit higher in the that yes ma'am, no ma'am, please and thank you kind of polite way, and it's like okay, thank you, and people assume I'm a female then. But otherwise, if people call me on the phone for the first time and I don't know the number, my voice deepens, so I'm like, hello. And so, because I'm always like, who's calling me? So there's that. Another thing I want to go on real quick is yesterday as well, the same day, I did, part of the reason I'm sorry, there's still page hair everywhere. Okay, so, one of the things I wanted to go into was yesterday I also did a play bit, and I played Prospero for a bit. Really, I was just reading from my pages, from my notes and stuff, from the book mostly. So it wasn't like me memorizing it yet, and it hadn't gotten a chance to memorize much of it. But that wasn't put against any of us. And I just really had a really good time doing it. So auditioning for that and having done the Tempest, I felt for kind of the first time like I was kind of walking out of this shell, because for the last few years, 2 or 3 years mostly, I have really, and I've seen this kind of in myself, and I've seen this a lot, and I noticed this a lot mostly yesterday, was that I tend to, I stay in as much as possible. I don't like being out in public at all. I go to school, I go to the grocery store, and I go home. Those are like, I mean, you almost think that I was a hermit or agoraphobic, but I'm not sure if agoraphobic is the one where you can't leave your house. I don't know. And it's not like I get somewhat of a social anxiety, but only because I'm wondering, who do they think I am? That's, and in some ways it shouldn't even matter who they think I am, but in some ways it does, because it's like who they kind of see you as, it kind of determines how things are going to go. Because if people see a guy and then they hear or see my name and they're like, what the fuck? Or, for the most part, usually it's pretty good. And even now, I was kind of thinking about, like, yesterday I kind of found Barlow Girl, which is a Christian rock female band, a trio of women, and I don't know much about them, so I'll try and put, like, a link to their page or something, because I'm still kind of going through it and finding tour dates and stuff. And there are some Christian rock bands that I really like. 12 Stones. I've heard a couple songs from Flyleaf. Plum is kind of Christian too, but they're not really rock. But they are kind of newer, contemporary type stuff. And then there's Fireflight, and then Barlow Girl. And those those few, I really like them, but I was always kind of afraid of bigger crowds like that, because just having to be careful about which restroom I use or whatever, it just kind of made me a little anxious. But I don't know, I'm kind of looking into going to see Fireflies in Oregon. That's like the closest one. Is there's a showing in Oregon, but that's not until September. So for one, it gives me some time to kind of prepare myself for it, both financially and mentally and emotionally and all that stuff. So I'm thinking about doing that, because I discovered Fireflight via Pandora last year, and their music, even though it is Christian rock, and that's and I'm still kind of iffy on religion for myself. It's kind of when songs kind of get a little too into the praise God, praise Jesus, I get a little uncomfortable with it, only because of my own beliefs or whatever. But and so I would be kind of uncomfortable if that was the same kind of thing going on in the audience or even on stage or whatever, just because I don't know for myself, and then I don't want to be feel like I'm just sitting there like, what? So anyway, I'm looking forward to that, and I feel like I'm kind of busting out of my shell a little bit more.